Happy day, everybody. Today we're making sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Breakfast has always been a big meal in our house. I've been making this since I was very little. It's one of the first things that I ever made with my grandmother that she actually let me help make. Mainly because I was so inquisitive about it, asking, why you do it this way? Why do you do that way? This is the first food that I really wanted to understand what was going on when it was being made. Not a lot of ingredients here. Have a pound of sausage. This is Jimmy Dean's sage sausage. A quarter cup of flour. About 4 cups of, or 1 quart of whole milk. Whole milk's usually the best to use in this. A little bit of pepper flakes, pepper itself, and a little bit of salt. These are optional. These are kind of required. But I've got my pan to a medium high, and I set this sausage out on the counter for about 30 minutes or so before I put it in the pan, just to bring it up to room temperature. This makes it cook a little bit easier. And this, if you want to double this recipe, it's really half a cup of flour, 2 quarts of milk, 2 things of sausage, 2 pounds of sausage. You just double it as you need it per pound of sausage, or half. It's pretty simple to figure out the math. At least I assume it doubles or triples and quadruples well. I've only doubled the recipe before. Never quite made that much at once. We do double the recipe a lot because we have a lot of friends that come over for this. My son absolutely loves it. He'll eat, I've seen him almost eat a whole serving of this in one shot, 1 whole pound of sausage. And it's just funny because he's as skinny as a rail. But he is a teenager and he's very active, so it all works out for him. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt while we're at this stage. Just a little pinch or 2. A couple grains of pepper. I like a lot of pepper in mine. A few flakes. You don't need a lot, but it's good to have a little bit of heat in here. Oops. We'll just stir that up. This is all browned up. I'm going to add our flour. Get this stirred in. Now my grandmother made this, she made patties out of the sausage. And then when it was time to make the gravy, she took the patties out, added her flour, made her roux, added her milk, and then crumbled up the sausage and put it in afterwards. I do that every once in a while. That makes a cleaner tasting gravy, I think. But it's a lot of extra work, and this is fine. You want to give the flour a minute or 2 in the hot pan to cook out that flour taste. It doesn't take a long time to do it. You just keep zhuzhing everything around. It's good to have your milk at room temperature too. So we're going to add this in just a little bit at a time. If you don't, you can get clumps, and lumps, and everything else of flour in here, and you really don't want that. But if you add it a little bit at a time, zhuzh everything around, you'll see it get really thick pretty fast. You can add a little bit more. Stir that in. You really want to turn your pan up a little bit at this point. definitely don't want to put all the milk in at once. But as the milk gets hot, it'll start to thicken up. Man, this dish really brings back memories in my life. I've eaten this literally my whole life. I remember being 3 or 4 years old. I always wanted to go to my grandmother's house for breakfast because on the weekends, either Saturday or Sunday, this was almost always on the menu. She made hers in her old cast iron skillet, which I probably should have done, but didn't grab it out today. And then consistency, I say 4 cups of milk, but really it's maybe 2 or 3. It just depends on how thick you like the gravy or how much gravy you like. My wife isn't here because if she was, we would be making a lot of gravy because she loves the gravy. She's not a big fan of the sausage other than the flavor that it makes for the gravy. The gravy's her favorite part of this. A little bit more milk in here. You can put some cream in here if you really want it luxurious. Enough of a heart attack in here already. I don't normally do that, but I have in the past. We have a local place here in town that's pretty much all they use in it is heavy cream, and it's good. It's just kind of ridiculously rich and so you want your gravy to stand up, but you don't want it so thick that it's clumpy. It's hard to tell you exactly where you want it. You want it to coat the back of your spoon. The French call that nappe, which is where we are. All right, so this is done. If you let it sit, it will start to get a crust on top, which really isn't that great. You just want to keep stirring it every once in a while. But normally when the gravy's done, it's time to eat. Kind of like risotto. Plate this up. I like to split my biscuits. Put some gravy on top of each one. I have seen people rip their biscuits up. I've seen people keep their biscuits whole and just dump the gravy on top. It's really whatever makes you happy. All right, like I said earlier, I like a lot of pepper on mine, so I'm gonna add a little bit extra to the top. Doesn't take a lot. Just tuck into this guy and see how it is. Oh, it smells amazing. That sage really makes a difference than a regular breakfast sausage. This is really good. Really easy recipe to make. Give this a try. Try it out on your family and friends, see what they say. Keep making it, it gets better every time you make it. Thanks for watching. Y'all have fun out there, be kind to each other, and we'll see you next time.